to how to get into double lifts when you are in the middle of a trick. Okay, so the spectator has already got a card, and now we're going to discuss how to get that card into a double lift position. So the spectator has chosen their card. Okay. In the meantime, while they're looking at it, you're just going to push over one card and get a fairly generous pinky break. Okay, get a nice big lift there. Okay, this one's called the tilt move. And you're basically going to stick the card in so it looks like it's going halfway down the deck. So they think that their card is now buried in the middle of the deck somewhere. But really, if you do a double lift from that point, you still have their card. Okay, so let's go over that one more time. So you get them to pick a card. At the same time, I'll go around this way here. At the same time, with your thumb, you're going to push a card over. And with your pinky, you're going to push it up a little bit, and then bring it back together and hold a rather generous pinky break. So if you have a pinky break that's very, very small, it's not going to look like you're going too far into the deck. But if you have a very nice, generous lift right there, and it really looks like it's going deep into the deck. Your perception is much better. Okay, so then again from that point, all you have to do is a double lift and reveal that their card wasn't put in the middle of the deck. It was put on. It was somehow magically brought back to the top of the deck. Okay, and then from that point you can do the same thing. Take the top card, put it in, and then do a single lift off, and you still got their card. Okay, so that's one way to get into it. It's using the tilt. Another way to do it is have the spectator choose a card, and then with your thumb just pry back one card like that. Just pry back one card with your thumb. So you have the spectator select a card, and then with your thumb back here, you're just going to lift it up, a very generous tilt, and you're going to hold it as loosely as possible, but you also want to have your thumb along this side so they can't see that break, and you're going to have your pinky and your middle finger, ring finger all along here, covering that is open there. So then from that point, I'm going to stick it right in. Looks like the middle, but it's really second from the top. Okay. Another convincer you can do with that. Okay, get into your position, and then from the back, you're going to poke the cards from the middle of the deck outward, and then place it under the second card down. Okay, so it looks like you've been finding a good spot in the middle to place the card, but then you really have it on top. Okay, so again, you say, okay, here's your card, Mr. Spectator, and then you poke, find a good spot in the middle, then place it in there. Believe me, no one will ever see that. If you do it nicely and you practice properly, you will always have their card in control. And from that point, you can take it, put their card back in the middle, and then do an in-jog shuffle, a false in-jog shuffle to kind of solidify that their card is, solidify in their mind that their card is completely mixed, when indeed you have it under full control. That's a single lift there. So that's one way to do it. Another way is the spectator has their card. This one's more difficult, a lot more difficult. And if someone is on your left side really watching you, you don't want to do this. Okay, you're going to want to really practice this one. And if you do have someone on your left side, make sure it's a friend of yours, and give them a wink first or something like that. Okay, so they have their card in their hand. They're holding it face down. You say, here, take the card. They'll be holding it. Then you say stop anytime. Wherever they say stop, it doesn't matter. You're going to come over with your right hand, and you're going to pick up where they cut to. Okay? But really you're not. Really all I have in this hand here is one card. One card. Okay? So it's just a convincer. You say, okay, tell me when to stop. I'll stop right there. Okay, great. Now put your card back in the middle. Right? Make sure they can't see at eye level, like, you know, that you are still holding an entire deck here. As long as they see a hunk of card, as long as they see this red in this hand, they're going to think that's in the middle. So then at that point, you ask them to place their card back in, and then you bring this hand back over top like you're going to put the rest of the deck on top. And now their card is in the double lift position. But there's a lot of variations on this one as well. So you get them to say stop anytime, and then we'll pick up one card, and they'll put their card back in the deck like so, and then when you come over, right? You want to come over, and you want to show them the exposed view. So just kind of the moment you bring that single card back on top and they think it's a hunk of cards, you lift up half the deck and you dribble back onto the deck. You just let a few cards go at a time, so it looks like that went into the middle. So I'll show you that in real time. So in real time, they've got their card. You're just going to say, okay, tell me when to stop anytime. They'll say stop right there. Okay, they'll put their card back in the deck, and you simply put your cards back on top. Okay, very easy thing to do. And then you have their card in the double lift position. But one more time, say stop, they say stop, you put their card back in just like that, and you put the rest of the cards back in on top, and then you're in the double lift position. And then from there you can go on and do your routine or do whatever you want to do. Also, it's a good thing to have their card on the top. So you tell them, okay, simply return your card to the top, to the middle of the deck. You do a swing cut over, and they're going to return their card into there. Okay. Then you do a double undercut, controlling their card at the top. And if you want to, you can do an overhand shuffle just to solidify in their mind that it is pretty much shuffled well, and there's no silly gimmicks going on or anything like that, which indeed there is. And then you have their card on top still. But you want to tell them to, you'll say, okay, we're gonna take one card at random here, and you do a double lift, and then that's not your card, is it? They're gonna say no, of course. You say, okay, now we'll put that card down on the table, but that is their card now. That now they thought that 7 is going down on the table. Now it's the king. Now it's their card. So that's yet another way to get into a double lift situation. Okay, it's another really good thing to hold the spectator's card, okay, and have it face up this time. Just be like, okay, well, now that we know what your card is, da 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 da, and you're gonna get your tilt back here. Okay, so you have a nice tilt. You're gonna do the same move where you push a couple cards from the middle forward, but you're gonna put it in face up this time, in under that tilt, so the second card down, right? So you're going to put it in, and then you say to the spectator, okay, now it's lost in the middle of the deck, but it's face up in there somewhere, right? And then you're going to do the Houdini change that we went over before, where you just, I'm not going to explain it again because we already went over it, but then their card shows up on top face up, and they freak out. They absolutely freak out. So we'll try that one more time. You say, okay, we'll lose your card in the middle of the deck somewhere, give or take, right? But it's face up. You're like, oh shoot, I put it in their face up. You can even act like it's a mistake. Oh man, I put it in their face up. Okay, we'll see if we can't find it here. Now watch this. Just gonna rub the top card just like so. It'll show up on top. So that's another way, another good utility move that we've talked about before, but now applying it to the double lift scenario, and it's a really good thing. I think next we're gonna go through more false shuffles, like the Hindu shuffle, and maybe go over a few more riffle shuffles, just some fake stuff, okay, to control the bottom card, to control the top card, so on and so forth.
Around your back door, honey, I'm gonna creep, just as long as you bring me 2.5 a week. I've got a girl, she works in the white folks' yard. She brings me meal, I swear she brings me love. She brings me meal, honey, she brings me love. She brings me everything, honey, that a girl can see. Lord of vaudeville circus right at Kingstown. They got the dance looking nice and brown. They didn't know it was against the law for the monkeys to stop at a 5-cent store. Well, just around the corner, just a minute too late. Another one standing at the big back gate. I'm saying